Good morning to each and every one of us. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmates. I am Roger Optional, a BS Ed Science student, and today's video, we will going to discuss and embrace new set of topics for today. So our topic is all about fresh water, which includes the major types, which is streams, lakes, groundwater, and wetlands. So for this lesson, we will be able to recognize the different subtopics, which is the water cycle, streams, erosions, and mountains, and how landscapes evolve, and stream deposition, which include lakes, floods, groundwater, hot springs, geysers, and geothermal energy, and wetlands. So at the end of this lesson, the students should be able to evaluate or know about our learning objectives. So first, we have to identify what is freshwater and its major types. And secondly, to differentiate the different types of freshwater and its meaning. And lastly, to know about their purpose in human diversity or in our society. So first, we have differentiate what is freshwater. So we already know that all things or clear water that we encounter is we consider it as freshwater. But in reality, what is the freshwater? So freshwater is a salt-free water, and it's seawater. It is occur naturally the Earth's surface. So yung dagat, so if for an example, yung dagat is hindi natin mako-consider na freshwater because seawater siya, maalat siya. So there are different types of freshwater regions which includes ponds and lakes. So yun nga, streams and rivers and wetlands. So as a freshwaters, makukonsider natin sila if ever hindi sila maalat. Yun, lahat na ang uri ng tubig na makakonsider natin as freshwater yung hindi sila maalat. Freshwater is found is an inland and away from the sea. So malayo siya. Hindi, kagaya na like yung river funds or mga tubig na malayo sa dagat ay mako-consider natin siya as fresh water. So the fresh water, it is defined as having as a low salt concentration, usually less than 1%. So as an average of that, ang fresh water talaga ay mako-consider natin siya na 1% sa concentration sa low salt na bahagi ng tubig siya. So yun nga. So water surface, it is the fresh water on Earth's land surface including lakes, rivers, streams, and wetlands. So, ang water surface or surface water ay isa siyang bahagi ng fresh water na minsan, say for an example, yung deep well, yung isang sa Visayan term is tabay siya. So mostly, diyan natin makikita or diyan natin mabahagi yung surface water na makonsider natin siya yung ginagamit natin sa pangligo sa pang-araw-araw, di ba? Malinis siya. Especially yung mga yung nasa bukid, yes, makonsider natin yun sila lahat as a surface water. So the types of freshwater habitats, we have lantic. So it is also standing water or lantic is yung calm water. It is ecosystem lakes and ponds. So for an example sa lakes and ponds. So it is an example of first type of fresh water, yung lantic. So masasabi natin is calm lang siya, no? Like for an example, so kung sino naka-visit sa MSU Buog, so mostly from working from MSU, nag-study tayo, syempre nakikita natin yung lake sa MSU. Yun ang example sa lantic types of fresh water na parang neutral lang yung pag-movement niya, tahimik lang siya. At the same time, for the next one is lotic, running water or the lotic is wash ecosystem. For an example, springs, streams, and rivers. So sila yun for the second one sa types of fresh water. So parang yung sa river siya, mostly kapag ang river siya is lumalakas yung niya, baha. Kasi yun ang results ng, for an example, umuulan siya. Kapag umuulan, lumalakas talaga yung tubig sa river niya. It's parang nag-overflow lang din siya. So yun nga, so example yung makikita natin sa balita, yung may maraming na-destruct na mga livelihood or mga property because sa paglakas ng agos ng river siya. Next is wetlands. Wetlands where water level fluctuates up and down, often seasonally as well as manually man or his swamps. So ang wetlands, mostly makikita natin yung wetlands is sa yung sa mga especially yung sa Bisaya term is yung sa Basakan. Yun, doon natin makikita mostly yung mga wetlands na, for an example, yung kapag yung kalabaw. Yung kalabaw, kapag di ba, for an example, ato man na siyang itigway, di ba, natay ka nang makitaan nga mga ilahang liguanan. Ang tawag na in Visayan term is basakan ba yun? Basakan siya. So yun matatawag natin diyan. Yung mga tubig na makikita natin diyan is tunaan rather. So yung makikita natin sa mga tubig dyan, mga tunaan, makakonsider natin yan as mga wetlands. Hindi naman lahat ng wetlands is madudumi. There are mga wetlands na malinis siya. Yung ginagamit sa iba, yung yung paglalaba, yun, matatawag natin siya yung sa Bisaya term is tabay siya. Next is the facts about fresh water. So first, fresh water's ecosystem is a very important part of our Earth's ecosystem. And they provide the water for previous purposes and its use. For second, they also help to domesticated as a terrestrial ecosystem to survive and keep the kind of ecosystem alive in nature. So yun nga. So yung fresh water is malaki talaga yung ambag. Sobra talaga yung ambag niya sa atin because hindi tayo mabuhay kapag walang fresh water. Ika nga nila. So ecosystem is fresh water are very less in our earth. So bibihira na lang na in short, yung fresh water is maliit na lang siya na porsyento na sa ating mundo. So they are just occupying 1% total water present on the earth, which support the more than 7 billion human population and thousands of species present in our earth. So it is important to keep fresh water ecosystem safe from other system and its life for other ecosystem. Yun nga. So next is after we discuss fresh water, so i-discuss naman natin so yung what is yung water cycle and how the water process niya. So first, we have to identify what is water cycle. So water cycle is the cycle of process by which water circulates between the Earth's oceans, atmosphere, and land, involving precipitation as rains and snow, drainage and streams and rivers, and return to the atmosphere by evaporations and transpiration. So ito nga, yung illustration is yung the water cycle. So first, yung water is mag-evaporate siya through condensation. At the same time, mag-precipitation siya. Parang ito na yung results niya. Yung precipitation, results na yun ng water from evaporations to condensation and after precipitation. So, the global water distribution is approximately 71% of the earth is covered by water, no? So, parang talaga natin, ma-visualize talaga natin sa ating self na 71% na lang ang water is covered by our earth. So, 97% of the water is salt water. So, no, bakit kaya ang laki ng bakit kaya ang laki ng salt water sa ating kaya ang mga kadahilanan bakit malaki siya, or maybe meron talagang kasi yung fresh water or yung sea, your sea is a big example sa salt water kasi meron talagang kasi kapag papalaki yung area, kasi mostly kapag 'di ba yung sa dagat is yung mga oceans na maliliit is nasakop talaga talaga siya. Nakukuha talaga siya ng dagat. So yan, that's why makonsider natin nga, mas malaki talaga yung salt water. And 69% of this is fresh water is frozen in glaciers in an ice cap. So this one is an illustration, no? So our next topic, no, is what is a stream. So after we discussed different fresh water, we were going to move about the different major types of fresh water. So first we have what is streams. So streams is a body of water with a current and is smaller than a river. When they join, they form a bigger body of water, either following of a non-flowing water ecosystem. For an example, lakes, ponds, inland wetlands, and rivers. So streams Isa yun sa parte ng fresh water na makakonsider natin is a body of water na maliit lang siya sa river. So for example is yung streams rather is yung sapa or batis. Yun yes, batis makakonsider yun ang stream rivers na maliit lang siya rather than sa mga rivers. So, next is the three main types of streams. So, first we have ephemeral streams or regularly exist from short periods of time, usually during a rainy period. So, yung ephemeral streams, ito yung mga sapa na hindi siya makaka-survive is magkakatubig lang siya kapag merong ulan. Yun nga. So, kung merong ulan, nag-straight ng ulans for 2 weeks or mga 3 weeks, after a month, mawawala din yan. It's just short period of time lang siya. So, next one is intermittent streams. So, flow at different times of the year or seasonally when there is enough water from either rainfall, springs, or other surface sources. Yun nga. So, ito din siya. Makakonsider natin dito ang streams is kapag yearly. Yearly na kapag yung before mawawala yung tubig na. Hindi siya short a period of time but yearly siya. Then perennial streams that flow year around. So ito na streams is mako-consider natin even though na how many years na ang pag-iinit niya, hindi pa rin mawawala yung tubig. Kasi ang best example nito is yung tubig na papunta yung tubig sa sapa or sa river is papunta siya sa dagat. Diyan is hindi talaga kahit talaga yung init or lakas ng init or ilang year pa yon or ilang decade pa yon na pag-iinit, hindi talaga mawawala yung tubig. Kasi meron talagang yung mga river na short period of time lang siya na natin siya base. So the tributaries or streams are identified by their streams order, so denoted by its position in the system. So the first order is not connected to any other tributaries. The second order is connected to one another or streams or tributary, and the third one joining to the two or second in order streams. Yun nga. So let's move to stream erosions and stream deposition. So first, we have to identify what is erosion. So erosion is a moving of rock material from one place to a new location. So the three processes must take detachment of particles, lifting them, transporting them, and agents of erosion including flowing of water, and moving ice, waves, gravity, and winds. So ito na in connection natin to sa streams or sa erosions. Kasi malaki din yung bahagi ng streams kapag sa erosion siya. Kasi sa erosions, say for an example, sa isang meron talaga yung mga specific na lugar dito sa atin na kapag meron talaga, kapag merong sapa, may erosion talaga siya na nangyayari. Kasi yung tubig is malaki din yung kapag siya. For example, di ba yung sa tubig is yung sa sapa, di ba? Parang malambot yung lupa niya. Mostly dyan sa mga tubig, sa mga land dyan is na-erode talaga siya. So, what is deposition? Next one is deposition tayo. So, deposition is the laying down of sediment that has been transported by a medium such as wind, water, or ice. The processes of this is when the moving particles falling out of the transporting medium and settle on the surface, including speed of the medium of flow of the resistance of the particles increases. Then the balance is changes and cause deposition. Then the speed can be reduced by a large rocks, hills, and vegetation. So yun nga, yung deposition, isa din yun siya sa in connection sa streams because yung mga for example, yung pagbabaha, di ba yung pagbaha tayo, may results talaga na pag landslide. Is kapag yung mga small particles na magagali yung say for example sa bundok, yung papalakas, magre-results talaga siya kapag merong streams, landslides talaga siya. Kapag meron tayong mga seasonal gaya ng rainy days natin or meron typhoon, yes, talaga siya, ma-wash out talaga siya. And meron talagang mga land surface na maapektuhan. So next is wearing down and building up. So the weathering includes the breakdowns of Earth's surface into sediments. Then erosion is when sediments are transported. Then yun nga, Then, when the deposition is sediments, the settle out or drop by whatever is carrying, then they pull out and landforms or fill up areas. Then, next is runoff and erosion. So, after it rains, some of the water that does not soak into the ground becomes runoff. Then, more runoff is equal to more erosion. So, yun nga. Kapag merong malaki yung possibility ng yung pag-ulan talaga, especially yung bagyo, kapag meron talaga nun, especially, malaki talaga yung chance na magkakaroon talaga ng landslide. Usual naman sa atin. Especially dito sa Pilipinas, kahit archipelago tayo na kaning country. So yun nga, makakonsider talaga natin siya kapag merong landslide, merong malaking ulan, malaki talagang landslide. See for an example dyan sa visual. So ayun nga, from the plane naka-create talaga siya ng landslide, nasakop talaga siya ng tubig. Dahil dyan sa nag-result siya ng erosion. So you have ever seen a muddy stream or river that waters appears muddy because of the scattering and small particles of sediments are running its as work. So yun nga, kapag meron talagang erosion, results talaga yun siya sa river kasi nagpo-flow siya. So ipagpalagay natin na ang river is hindi siya malinaw yung tubig niya. Example, clear siya na water. So siya, in by science term, malubog jud siya. Kaya nga naman, it is results of the erosion. Yun ang results niya. Magiging muddy siya. So let's proceed to another topics or another major types of fresh water, which includes floods, lakes, and groundwater. So first, we have to identify what is floods. So flood is a state of higher water level along a river channel or on the cause of leaves of inundation of land, which is usually submerged. Floods can form where there is no streams, as for an example, wind or abnormally heavy precipitations fall of the flat terrain, such as rate that is soil cannot be absorbed the water or the water can't run off fast as it falls. So ito, kapag merong flood, baka consider talaga natin siya, yung streams is more than, lalaki na talaga siya. Kasi baha na siya eh. Yun nga, kapag yung merong flood, yung water level is tataas siya. Yun nga, 'di ba? Mostly sa mga baha, 'di ba, yung mga bahay is na siya, mama-wash out, yung lapas bubong na siya kasi lalaki especially yung mga river is malalaki siya. Yun talaga yung prone sa sa baha. Kapag malaki yung river or sapa, possibility na malaki din yung baha. 'Di ba yung sa mga balita na na-observe natin or nakikita natin, ang lalaki ng baha. So we have causes of floods. Ano yung mga dahilan kung bakit nagkakaroon tayo ng floods? So we have heavy rainfall. First talaga is yung pag-uulan. Yung malakas na ulan, walang tigil na ulan. Hindi naman sa walang tigil. Merong tigil pero ilang mga araw yung pag-ulan or say for example weeks or days yun. Mag-results talaga siya ng malaking floods. Heavy citations of the river beds reduces the water carrying capacity of the rivers. So, yung paglaki ng baha. Meron namang mga tendency na hindi yung maliit lang yung mahina lang yung ulan pero ang lakas ng flow ng river. Siguro yung river mayroong mga tubod siya in Bisaya, daghang tubod. So, that's why na lalakas yung tubig. So, blockage in the drains leads and flooding of the area, then including landslides blocking of the flow of the stream. So, yun nga, isa din yun sa magka-create ng yung flood. Kapag ang isang streams is nala-landslide siya. Yung streams is nababarahan ng mga landslides na lupa. So, hindi yan siya, di ba for an example, yung merong maliit na sapa. Kapag tinatambakan yan siya, naipon yung tubig, hindi yun nakakalabas. So, nagkaka-results din yun siya ng flood. Pero, major lang. Hindi siya ganong malaki na. Meron talagang maapektuhan, pero malimit lang. Yan siya. So, constructions of dams and reservoir. So, yun nga. Yung pagko-construct, isa din yun. Yung sa tulay, pagko-construct ng tulay, or mga basta constructions na related to sa rivers na maapektuhan siya, magka-cause talaga yun siya ng flood. And areas prone to cyclones, strong winds accompanied by heavy pour along to the storm surge leads to flooding. Next is we have to discuss what are lakes. Lakes are inland depressions containing standing water. So, how are lakes formed? So, lakes are forms. So, mabubuo talaga yung lakes from glacial erosions and deposition. Yun, isa yun sa mga makakreate ng lakes. For an example, if there are landslide, meron siyang landslide. Kapag meron siyang landslide, syempre may lupa dun siya na part na mabubuta siya or ma-erode siya, magka-create siya doon ng lalaki yun siya. Parang ganun siya, bitaw, ang iyang yung situation niya. Kapag merong landslide, especially may design term na tubod siya, kapag may tubod siya, lalaki din yung tubig niya kasi lalaki din yung lalaki yung surface niya. That's why makaka-create tayo ng lakes. And shape of Earth's crust, then craters of some extent volcanoes, then landslides. So yun nga. Makaka-create siya ng makaka-create siya ng lakes rather. So next we have groundwater. So groundwater lies beneath the surface of the earth that is affected by surface of light. Then the groundwater is affected by changes to all of the surface spheres due to the linkage through the hydrologic cycle or percolation. So bakit tayo nagkakaroon ng groundwater? Yung groundwater is a basic example is yung mga tabay natin. Meron talaga yan yung tubod. Is usually talaga bibihira lang na meron tabay na malakas yung tubod na makakasustain talaga for a long period of time. Kasi meron talagang mga parts ng land na hindi natin makakonsider na groundwater kasi yun nga mahirap yung hindi nakakasustain sa mahabang panahon yung yung tubig, yun nga. Pero kagaya sa amin, hindi talaga makakita or maka-point out ng groundwater kasi sa amin bukid, even bukid siya, wala talagang mga tabay na makikita natin, is more on bukid talaga siya. Kaya sa amin, nagsasuffer kami na walang tubig. Kasi bibihira lang siya. Bibihira lang ang area dito sa aming lugar na meron talagang groundwater, yung nakaka-sustain talaga, yung malakas talaga yung tubod sa kanilang sa Visayan, yung tabay nila, malakas yun, bibihira lang. And rare lang siya na makikita. Especially yung sa mga area na yung mga basakan diyan, bibihira talaga makikita yung mga tubig diyan. Next is hot spring, geysers, geothermal energy, and wetlands. So this is the last subtopics or sub major types of freshwater. So we have different describe what is hot spring. So a hot spring that is produced by an emergence of geothermal heated from the groundwater from the Earth's crust. Can be found in many regions of the regions of the world. Occurs when the water temperature is below the boiling point. Then mineral content great to while glycerides and hydrated silicon dioxide. So yun nga. So hot spring, nabubuo din to siya is bibihira lang din to siya. Hindi lahat sa ating lugar is merong mga hot springs kasi there are mga areas na more than yung niya is yung hot springs talaga is bibihira lang yung makita sa isang lugar kasi hindi talaga lahat dito is may geothermal heat na siya sa isang specific na lugar. Bibihira lang yun siya. Kaya dito sa buog, based sa aking na discovery is wala talagang ma-point out na may spring dito. Kaya kasi bibihira lang siya. Then next is the source of heat or for example sa volcanic origin. The water may be heated by coming into the contact with magma. If the water only touches the surface in the form of the stream, it is called as fumarole. So yun nga. Mag-iisa din is mag-cause din yung init ng tubig is kapag yung may volcanic eruption siya. Kasi, especially, kapag yung magma, kapag may volcanic eruptions, yung tubig is mag-results talaga siya ng heat. Even though nga malayo sa atin, mafe-feel natin kasi yung sa ilalim ng tubig, sa crust, sa ano siya, sa land movement, maapektuhan din siya. That's why, isa din yun sa magiging source na mainit yung tubig natin. So the geysers. So what is geysers? So a geysers is a hot spring characterized by intermittent as a turbulent eruptions that is accomplished by a vapor phase. Erupts water as a usually above the boiling point. About the thousands geysers exist in the worldwide, roughly half of which are in a Yellowstone in a national park. So ang geyser is bibihira rin din natin makikita. I don't know kung dito sa Pilipinas meron tayong geysers. Kasi hindi pa ako nakapag-explore. Yun nga. Pero soon, explore mahanap din natin, makikita din natin kung meron tayong geysers dito sa Pilipinas. And mostly kasi, yung geysers is hot spring siya. Yung paglabas ng tubig niya is hindi siya true sa tubod siya. Feel ko lang yung geysers is yung for an example diyan sa illustration yung tubig is parang bumubulwak siya. Yun nga maano natin siya, yung geysers is bumubulwak yung tubig niya. And ang naka-nice pa diyan is hot siya. So mainit yung tubig na lumalabas sa kanya. So dito for an example talaga yung mga taong malimit lang maliligo na hindi gusto yung malamig na tubig dito, diyan sila sa mainit sa geysers, mainit yung tubig niya. Diyan, no? So the cone type of geysers is most of the greenserite cones that are ground surface just below the ground. It is the narrow constriction, often spray water during the quiet intervals between the eruptions, then make up of the famous geysers around the world. So the fountain types of geysers, we have in open craters out of the surface that it fill out with water during an eruptions. The streams, bubbles, cause bursting and spraying eruptions. Then most common type of geysers, most are small, but a few are small of the longest in the world. So yun, yung parang siya, yung nagbubulwak ng tubig niya sa Visayan term, na meron din yun siya, makikita natin sa ibang mga country or maybe sa ibang lugar na merong mga geysers. Then, next is wetlands. So what are wetlands? So wetlands are areas where waters covers the soil or are present either or near the surface of the soil, or all year for varying period of time during the year, including during the growing season. So yung wetland, makakonsider natin siya if there are times na yung example ko, for an example kanina is yung sa Carabao, yung tunaan sa Visayan term is yun siya. Makakonsider natin siya na wetland kasi hindi siya sa isang period of time. Meron siyang yearly, meron siyang short period of time. Depende yun siya kung makakasustain yung tubig sa isang area. Yun. Types of wetlands: marine, including coastal wetlands, including coastal lagoons, rocky shores, and coral reefs. Then estuarine, including the dustals, tidal marshes, and mangrove swamps. Then lacustrine, including wetlands associated with lakes. Then riverine, wetlands along rivers and streams, and polustrans, meaning marshes, swamps, and bogs. So yun. Merong mga maliliit na wetlands, meron ding mga malalaki na wetlands. Kasi yung wetlands na makakonsider natin siya is, meron din siyang part talaga siya ng lupa na na meron lang siyang yung special siya na makakonsider natin siya na talaga natin siya na ang wetlands is meron talaga siyang source of water, no? Example, meron siyang tubod sa makikita natin siya. That's why merong wetlands na bahagi ng fresh water. So how wetlands work? So ito sa diagram na ito yung movement or ito yung illustrations sa isang wetlands na paano siya nakakapag-works, no? Paano siya nakapag-works, na paano naka-create yung land, na dito talaga yung yung sa ilalim ng ground, yung paano nagkaka-create ng yung tinatawag natin na tubod, na nakaka-sustain talaga siya sa long period of time ang isang lupa. So next is benefits of the wetland: provide a habitat for a wide variety of number of wildlife and plants. Then filter of clean and store water, In other words, acting like kidney and other ecosystem, collect and hold floodwaters, then absorb wind and tidal forces, and provide places of beauty and many recreational activities. Then wetlands also can act sponges by holding floods, waters, and keeping rivers at normal levels. Then wetlands filters and purify water as it flows through the wetland system. And plants found in the wetlands and erosions. So yun nga. So makakonsider natin sa last type is yung wetlands is kapag ano siya, kapag meron talaga siyang mga, ang wetlands is meron siyang malilinis na tubig and meron din siyang mga hindi malilinis na tubig. Pero meron baka benefits tayo. So this is all my resources of my topic. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully meron kayong a lot of na-learn sa topic natin for today, which all about freshwater, with including the major of types, which is streams, lakes, groundwater, and wetland. So that's all for today for my topic. Thank you so much for watching, and once again, good morning to one and all. Bye!